welcome back to the podcast, Evil Dungeon Master Universe Podcast. I'm your host, Evil Dungeon Master Vince, and it is Tuesday, time for another podcast of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. As we continue along looking at various things in the book of the Dungeon Master's Guide, or any one of the books for that matter, but today we're going to talk about something that just kind of, got my eye today because I was flipping through the book trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about today, as people want me to continue with Advanced Dungeons & Dragons as they're enjoying these kind of looks at different things. Ask the DM at theevildm.com is my email address, or you can go to theevildm.com, where I've moved my website to now it's Substack, because I was tired of WordPress and all its problems. Now you can easily go there, read, comment, and not have any problems. Subscribe all you want, and have a good time. Anyway, today's going to be part 1 of Magical Robes. Because there's so many of them to talk about, I wanted to split it up into 2 episodes. That way, the podcast stays into manageable bites that people can listen to, on breaks or on a little walk or something. A lot of people have told me that they enjoy the short form podcast because it's solo for one, and I give some thought-provoking ideas to them while they're on a break, say at work, or if they're on just a simple walk around the block just to get some exercise. They like the quick 10 to 15 minute thing. So turning to page 152 in the Dungeon Master's Guide, and I'm talking about the original cover, the 3D cover, we got Robes of the Arch Magi. This normal appearing garment can be white, 45% chance of good alignment, gray, 30% neutral, but neither good nor evil aligned, or black, 25% evil alignment. If the wearer its wearer gains the following powers. It serves its armor class equal to AC 5 right off the bat. The robe confers a 5% magical resistance right away. So imagine that. It adds a +1 saving throw score to all saving throw scores, and the robe reduces magic resistance and or saving throws by 20%, -4 when the wearer casts any of the following spells: Charm Monster, Charm Person, Friends, Hold Monster, Hold Person, Polymorph Other, and Suggestion. So just taking that in at the moment. So now you have a magic user who dons this robe, and we'll talk about that in a second because there's a whole thing about that. Dons this robe, and now he has an armor class of 5. Now, say he has a decent dexterity or something like that, and he can probably get himself down to 3, ring of protection, blah, 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 and he could probably get himself down to 0 AC. And he also has a 5% magic resistance. So right off the bat, anytime a magical spell against him, there's only a 5% chance that he's got a 5% chance that it won't work against him. It's not that big of a deal, but still a 5% chance, a 5% in 20, in a roll 20 is like a 1, or, a 20. It's a 5% chance. So get a +1 to all your saving throws if the magic resistance fails, and then you get to do these spells at -4. And if the target has a saving throw spell magical resistance like elves do, it gets dropped down by 20%. So if something had like a 90%, like an elf, or I think it's sleep and charm magic, it automatically now drops down by 20%. So look at that right there. That's powerful as it is. Now, the one thing here about these robes that make them, I want to say, annoying to players, because the fact of if your alignment does not match what the color of the robes are, and you can't tell what the color of the robes are until you actually put it on. And it's not determinable until donned by a magic user. So anyone else that puts the robes on apparently will just take damage. But the magic user, if his alignment is not the same as the color of the robes, whichever the GM decided was going to roll, takes damage. Anywhere from 18 to 51 points of damage. So that's 11d4 plus 7 hit points of damage. And, it goes on. Lose 18,000 to 51,000 experience points. And the reverse is true with respect to black robes worn by a good amount. So, if an evil wizard puts on the good one, they lose that much hit points and that much experience. A good wizard puts on the black robes, the same thing. An evil or good magic user putting on the gray robes, or the neutral magic user donning either black or white robes, incurs 6d24 points. I'm sorry, 6 to 24 points of damage. 6 to d24. Wow, that's a big amount of damage there. And they also lose 6,000 to 24,000 experience points. And the wearer will be moved towards the alignment of the robe by the enchantments. He or she should be vocally urged to change their alignment to that of the robes, and the magic user will have to take steps to keep his or her old alignment pure. So, reading that paragraph, looking at that paragraph tells us that, sure, you can identify these as robes of the Arch Magi, but you cannot determine what color it is until it's actually put on. So you have a gamble going on here. Now, if you have an evil dungeon master, such as myself, the robes probably won't be the alignment that your character is, generally. Or if you want to be an evil fair dungeon master, just roll and see which one it falls under. How you can roll this, different ways to do that, because there's 45% good chance alignment, 30% of neutral alignment, and then 25% of it would be evil alignment. So just roll your D100. You get anything below, you get 45 and below, obviously is a good alignment. Anything 75% and above the 45 will be neutral, and anything above 75 would be considered an evil alignment robes. You're the DM. You decide what you want to do with this. Generally, I suggest just rolling to keep it somewhat fair, but definitely do not give these robes out before at least 10th level because of the fact of the hit point loss and the experience loss, which is handled here. So basically, whatever the hit point damage is that's the amount of experience points it is, because it's the same thing, 18 to 51 or 6 to 24, depending on the alignment. I would definitely not give this up before 10th level because it could really break a campaign, especially if you give this to a lower level. The fact that they'll probably die as a magic user with all that amount of hit point loss. But yeah, don't give it out way too quickly. Just be wary of what you give out in your games because you may have a problem later on in your games. And I've run into that problem many times. Thinking about how I want to give out a certain magic item, and then I give it out, and I'm just like, crap, because the player figures out like some kind of loophole or something I forgot about with the magical item. And it happens to the best of us. Generally, just talk to the player, and they should be able to work with you if they're not a jerk. But, depends on the player. All right, next up is the Robe of Blending. This ordinary appearing robe cannot be detected by magical means. When it is put on, however, the wearer will detect it one that and know that the garment has very special properties. A robe of blending enables the wearer to appear to be part of a rock, wall, plant, or creature of some other sort, whatever is appropriate. The coloration, form, and even odor are produced by the robe, although it will not make its wearer appear to be more than twice or one half normal height, and it does not empower language or noise capabilities, either understanding or imitating. In situations where several different forms are appropriate, the wearer is obliged to state which form he wishes the robe to camouflage him or her as. Now, creatures with exceptional 15 plus, I guess that's 15 and plus, or better intelligence have a 1% chance per intelligent point chance of detecting something is wrong. Something's amiss. I like how something amiss. When they were within 3 inches of the Robe of Blending, so within 30 feet of the Robe of Blending, depending on outside or inside, or 15 feet. And those creatures with low intelligence, 5 plus or better, and 10 or more levels of experience, have a 1% chance per level or hit dice chance of likewise noting something unusual about the robes. So if you're more intelligent, you have more of a chance of determining there's something wrong here. If you're not as intelligent as it's kind of a lesser chance. Just something, but the lesser chance is something's unusual about the robe wearing character. There must be an initial check per eligible creature, and successive checks should be made each turn thereafter. If the same creatures are within the 3-foot range, 3-inch range, 30 feet, 30 to 15, all creatures acquainted with and friendly to the wearer will see him or her normally. So, after various checks and you're around the person for a while, you will start to see the wearer as they normally are. So you can use this Robe of Blending into where you probably could walk into like a lizard den or something. You wouldn't understand them. Or a kobold. No, you can't be smaller, so a lizard would probably be perfect as long as you're tall. You can blend in, kind of look like them. But when it comes to talking to them, unless you have like a comprehend language thing on or the ability to understand languages and speak other languages, you're pretty much going to be screwed as far as talking wise, unless you can fake it until you make it, as they say. But I do like the fact that you can blend into whatever you need to do, like the wall or whatever things are around creature wise. It's kind of interesting that they also give you a chance that people might find it suspicious as you're within range of them. I think you could rationalize some type of check if this person wearing the robes is walking in like the lizard people. They don't recognize this lizard person. Yeah, sure, to us, uh, us player characters, every monster pretty much looks the same. But lizard people will know the difference between lizard people. So, yeah, there'll be a chance to roll for a saving throw here or some type of detection on these creatures. So, I mean, it's just interesting that I forgot about the Robe of Blending and how powerful it can be. I would say you could probably give it out as long as there's a mid-level campaign. I don't think there'd be too much of a problem with this, though a thief can have a field day with this. Yeah. Next up, we got Robe of Eyes, and the final one we're talking about today. This garment is most valuable, though it appears as a normal robe until put on, for its wearer is able to see, in quotes, in all directions at the same moment due to scores of magical eyes, which adorn the robe. The wearer is empowered with infravision capability to 12 inches, so 120 feet. Jeez. Ultra vision abilities and the power to see displaced or out of phase objects and creatures in their actual position. Man, the nightmares that are going to come out of you when you put on these robes and start seeing these various creatures that could be in the area. My God. The Robe of Eyes sees all forms of invisible things within 24 normal vision range, 24-inch normal vision range, or 12-inch if infravision is being used. Of course, solid objects obstruct even the robe's powerful observation, while invisibility, you have dust of disappearance, a robe of blending, or even improved invisibility are not proof against observation. Astral or ethereal things cannot be seen by means of this robe. Illusions and secret doors also cannot be seen, but creatures camouflaged or hidden in the shadows are easily detected, so ambush or surprise of characters wearing the Robe of Eyes is impossible. Furthermore, the robe enables its wearer to track as if he were a 12th level ranger. A light spell thrown directly on the Robe of Eyes will blind it for 1 to 3 rounds. A continual light for 2d8 rounds. So, these are another pretty powerful bunch of robes to give out. and it's not something you want to give out at low level. It's another pair of robes that is undetectable until you put it on. I'm not sure why Gary was full of the whole "you're not going to find out until you put it on" phase in his D&D career, but that's what older Dungeons and Dragons is all about. The mystery and the risk of being an adventurer. It puts the fear into the game that you could be dead at any moment, no matter what corner you turn around, and you're not a superhero. So this is another item that you can not detect. I'm thinking that magical identify would work on this one, because it appears as normal robes until put on. It does not say it cannot be detected until put on, like the robes of the robes of blending, because it cannot be detected by magical means, regardless. So identify will not work on these robes, but scrolling back to the robes of the Arch Magi, sure, you can tell what the magical item is, but you cannot tell what the color is until it's donned. That's my ruling based on that. Now, another DM may have another ruling based on this, on any of these three we've talked about today. So tell me what you think in the comments, how you would handle some of these items. I'd like to know. And no right or wrong way is the right way. It all depends on your fun in the campaign. Now, if you're a DM that wants people to know what it is beforehand, so they don't lose experience or they know what robe they're putting on, then that's how your campaign works. You don't have to use what Gary lists here. Again, these books are all guidelines for you to use in your campaign. You run the game how you and your friends have fun. That's what I always say. So we're going to head out. Don't forget to check out the poll at the end of some of these podcast episodes. I like to throw some polls up, so just always check out there. You can head to Spotify and comment, or you can head to my website, theevildm.com, and comment there and subscribe to my website there. On YouTube, you can comment their way and like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, you can support the channel in various ways. 99 cents a month on YouTube gets you a special little badge. You get special special live stream every Friday, and you get access to videos early. With that said, I'm going to head out. Keep it original, keep it old school. Good night, and God bless.